course, I want to take a few minutes to talk about research. What I call integral research. That is other aspect of research. I was in the UK for a while, I was in South Africa, and I discovered that apart from the core quantitative research they take us, I discovered that research is wide. It's a whole body of work. So I'll just touch on a few things, now we can relate that to housing finance. My slides aren't going to show yet, but I'll just run through them. Conventional finance, we all know what it's all about. Principal interest, right? The CBN, they've got their own rate, they're going to pass it on to the banks. Because of the CBN rate, the banks will have to move up their interest rate. You've got intervention funds, mortgage banks, they get a bit of that, and a few other intervention funds here and there. You've got for infrastructure and all that. And you've got Bank of Industry. So it's very simple, principal and interest, right? A lot of work has been done in that area. For me, my interest, as a student then, I was concerned about the high interest rates. And I was also concerned about the fact that for real estate projects, the payback period is long. So I started to think of what other ways we can work around things. And of course, that made me to get interested in alternative finance. Like I said, for alternative finance, the relationship between conventional and alternative finance, there's also a relationship between alternative finance and what we call non-interest finance in Nigeria. In some part of the world, most part of the world, they call it Islamic finance. But really, it's all about partnership, leasing, sales. Right? I'm going to explain how it works. First and foremost also, we have redefined money. So conventional finance is very clear. 4 factors of production. One of the major areas of production is capital and must earn you interest. What we have done is that we have assumed that other factors of production are fine. However, money should not earn interest, which is unbelievable. How can you say money should not earn interest? So we're saying that money itself cannot be a commodity. In the olden days, you had the goldsmith, people would keep their gold with them, they will issue receipts, and then thereafter, a lot of the rich men in America went to US president and said, you know what, that was in 1913. Let us print a lot of money, let's forget about the gold standard. The US accepted, and then of course, the Bank of England did the same in 1931. By 1971, all international transactions were de-linked from gold. So at some point, the gold standard faded away, So for us, what's important now is that, okay, if we're saying there's no more gold, what is the real assets that we can hold on to? Real estate has become a major real asset in this regard, in lieu of gold. So rather than keeping gold, which we don't have anymore, rather than keeping cash, you can have real estate, right? You can have other assets. But infrastructure, real estate, it's one major aspect of, should I say, asset-backed instruments. I don't know how best to describe that really. Under alternative finance, there are 3 major areas: partnership, sale, lease. Now, these 3 areas, right, they're so important in research because we have worked around them so much in the most unique manner you can imagine. I'll give a typical example. I was somewhere, before I describe them, I was somewhere around, just on Friday, I went to Ilorin and Offa. Somebody's got a university, he's building a university. He needs cash. He doesn't have cash. He's built a lot of structures already, but he needs working capital for him to get the license to operate a university. I said, there's no problem with that. What we're going to do is that your hostels, we're going to do a leasing structure for you. We'll lease them from you. The students will pay us, like lease and lease forth, right? For your working capital, we're going to do a partnership for you. That partnership means that you don't have the cash, but we're going to be like we're a partner of the business for a period of time, right? Then we exit in the future, right? I told him that, okay, for some other structure, we're going to do a sale. We'll buy them, right? And then we can lease them back to you. I give him our 4 structures. That is one university. Another university in Abuja, they also wanted to do something very similar. They want to build just hostels. Now, for the hostel, I said, okay, no problem. If we're going to need about 2 billion naira, that's not a problem at all. We can structure some kind of, I won't call it a bond as such, right? We're going to structure some kind of instrument whereby we put everything into a basket, form an SPV. Now, with that SPV, we're not going to basically securitize the project, make it into smaller securities, right? We're going to sell these securities in the bank. The bank can decide to buy everything on one hand. When the bank buys everything, the bank will now create an investment-linked, instrument, right? Let me practicalize it. in Sterling Bank, we did something not too long ago. Osun State government did this so-called bonds, but bonds that are backed by assets or real estate. In the case of Osun State, their bonds was actually backed by schools, real estate. So what we did as a bank, we bought so much of it, right? When we bought so much of it, we now create a Sukuk-linked investment. So that investment became like a REIT, real estate investment trust, whereby you can go in and go out, right? You don't find that. I mean, in Nigeria, we're probably the first bank that did that. But it's a function of research, right? As a bank, banks ordinarily don't have powers to do certain things. But because we have a non-interest banking license, we could do that. On the other hand, we found out also, apart from conventional banking, there are some other banks, excellent investment banking, they are regulated by SEC. SEC, the banks that are regulated by SEC, they've got the powers to do a lot of these things. Now, sometime last year, SEC came up with a 10-year master plan for alternative finance and for conventional finance. For alternative finance, I was a part of that committee, and we designed the infrastructural needs for the Nigerian market. So it means that the regulation is there already, right? So for finance, the areas you need to research on, REITs, investment trusts, private placements, Sukuk, asset-backed securities, we've done everything. So from a regulatory perspective, you've got everything in place. Just a matter of saying, how do we build further on this regulation that's already available? So as a bank, as a conventional banks cannot do more than principal and interest. As a non-interest bank, we can buy assets. We can start building, right, ourselves. Okay, we want to take the risk, just want to start building houses. We can start building infrastructures. Alternatively, we can do it for customers. A customer walked up to us sometime and said, you know what, I need ‹1 billion to fix infrastructure. A massive parcel of land somewhere after, not just after the toll gate, thereabout. She needed cash, but she doesn't have the cash. So we said, okay, that's not a problem also. What we can do is that, have you got other sources of income? She said, yes. So because she's got cash flow, right, we decided that we're going to do for her a build to order. I'll try and explain that. A build to order, a structure whereby we're going to sell to her what does not exist. The infrastructure does not exist on day one, but we're going to buy it, say at X amount, and sell it to her plus our profits. She agreed, provided she has another source of cash flow. Now, these areas are not very common in conventional finance, right? Now, I'll give another example before I go to the core business for today. A set of young guys, they live around Lekki axis, they have good jobs and all that, they live in rented apartments. They needed to get mortgages. On the average, they need about 40 million naira to get a mortgage. They didn't even have the cash. So that's not a problem also. 6 of you, let's buy a plot of land, or let's look for somebody that has a plot of land, just about 1,005 square meters or even 1,002. With that plot of land, we can create for you a kind of off-plant sale. We'll buy what does not exist for you and sell it back to you at the markup price, like over a period of time. Now, with that, they can get their units for 25 million, 28 million thereabouts. It's cheaper at the end of the day. So rather than them go to the banks to stress themselves, it's okay, as a bank, as a non-interest bank, we can actually, each of them, so we're not financing the developer now, we're financing each of them, right? We're going to build for them. Okay, thanks. Okay, that's conventional finance. Okay, yes. So we're going to build for each of them. We're going to give the money to the developer, and then the developer is going to build the houses, the units, and they're going to have the units. So we're going to have it cheaper at the end of the day. Now look at this model there. This model is the summary of alternative finance. The red part is partnership. Partnership is clear, JV, venture capital, or joint venture, or some kind of private equity, whereby two parties will bring cash, and they will bring, some will not bring anything. One case is a case whereby 2 parties bring cash, and they do the business together, they share the profit. Well, this time around, the profit, what they're doing partnership on is real estate, is infrastructure, is development. So basically, they must bring in equity. The blue part, sale and lease. For sale and lease, there are 3 types of sale. One sale, the asset exists. We buy the asset and sell back, right? The second case, the asset does not exist. In the case of infrastructure, the woman that wants to do infrastructure financing, she doesn't have any money right now, but she has other cash flow. So we'll buy the infrastructure that does not exist right now and lease back to her or sell back to her at the markup price. The markup price is fixed. It's not affected by CBN rates or anything. Another case is, let me not talk about future sale because we use that for agricultural produce. Now for lease, it's what we have done with leases, right, is that we have manipulated them so much that you can get variation of leases, right? So for research, it's not enough to just say, oh, we want to do research on lease. But you see, we can do lease and lease forth, lease and lease back, finance lease, operating lease, all sorts of leases. These areas are yet to be researched on. Like I said, the infrastructural policy is in place, the SEC master plan, right? We've got everything in that document. So it means that you must be able to come up with these new ideas. Also, very importantly, we have separated income-generating and non-income generating assets as much as possible. A major area of research is that, it's not enough to just say, oh, I want to build a house, I want to live there, I don't have a source of income. Or even if I have a source of income, it's not going to earn me anything, So as much as possible in banking and in the finance world, we've tried to separate which one is income generating, which one is not income generating. In the case of a school, the university I went to in Offa recently, the gentleman has another cash flow. Because he has another cash flow that gives him, even though the university has not started, that gives him consistent income, I can assume that infrastructure development I want to do for him, or that university I want to help him build some more units or buildings, is viable. Alternatively, another university in Abuja that is quite new, they're already existing, right? They just want to build hostels for students. In that case, because the students are willing to pay 100,000 naira per annum for a space, for students in a room, it means that asset is income generating itself. So one case is not income generating, but we can structure something, provided the money has got another cash flow. In the other case, it's not income generating, it's income generating because we can get direct income from it. I'll see if I can work within these few minutes I've got. So we've got all sorts. So even Lekki Free Trade Zone, we're proposing to Lagos State Government. This free trade zone, we can build it up for you. Even Eco Atlantic, there are models we can use. I'm going to talk about one interesting aspect of finance, where you have guarantors or guarantee, if you like. I was listening to the World Bank president a few days ago. I was talking about the fact that for infrastructure finance in Africa, what the World Bank needs to give to African countries is to provide them with guarantees.